now let's take a look at the class structure for the levels iL1 and iL2. So you can see here we have the class time, day 1, and day 2. So we're going to take a look at day 1. So we have our first 45-minute class. You can see here that the students will be studying phonics. Then they'll have a 5-minute break and they'll come back for their second class. So 20 minutes in that second class will again be phonics, and then the class will finish with the classic. Then for day 2, you can see it just repeats itself. So again, for the first 45 minutes, they study phonics. They have a 5-minute break. They go to their second class. The first 20 minutes are phonics again. And then the last 20 minutes of the class, they study the classic. So now let's take a closer look at how this all breaks down in the class structure. Now this is only the case for iL1 and iL2, but one unit lasts for 4 days, and during that unit they're only going to cover one lesson. So you can see here we have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and then this cycle basically repeats itself over and over again throughout all the books. So let's take a closer look. So we have day 1 here. You can see they're going to study lesson 1. And we're going to start off with letter and sounds, and that's Atelier A through L. That'll take, you'll cover that for 40 minutes. You won't be able to cover it all, so after the break, they'll come back and continue studying A through L wherever you left off. And then you'll wrap up the class with the classic, today, music appreciation for 20 minutes. On day 2, they'll come and they're going to start studying the word intro. So you'll do Atelier M with them and then some hands-on activities. Now, after the break, they'll come back and they will study word intro. These are components Atelier N through P. It's probable you won't be able to finish all of these components. That's okay. It can just continue on into day 3. So you'll see here for word practice, just start where you left off. But if we have to give you some guidance, it'll probably be like start off with Atelier Q through T. But again, don't worry if you have to cover some of these components in day 3. After you finish that Atelier, you're going to do some hands-on activities with them, and that will continue on in the second class. And then you'll do the classic art appreciation. And then for day 4, they'll come in, you'll do the story with them, hands-on activities, and then you'll finish up with the classic. This time's an activity where they will actually express and they'll have a final product. Now, the only variation from the cycle of 4 classes is after every 2 units, which basically is 8 classes, you're going to have one class that you review with the students. So just like CBED, there's a review part in the Atelier. After that, you can do the hands-on activities with them. Then the next day, following this review class, then you're going to practice a song and then record it with the kids using the chroma key, just like we do in CBED 1. So now, let's see the operation plan and compare that with the class structure. So now we are looking at the operation plan for Tuesday, Friday classes. Now when iGarden launches, it's going to be at the start of our intensive period. So students are going to be coming to the center for 3 hours a day, which means that they are going to be learning 2 days each time they come. So you can see here, on June 7th, they would be learning day 1 and day 2. So now let's compare this to the class structure. So on June 7th, we said that kids would be studying day 1 and day 2. So you can see during that day, you would be covering all of this here. Lesson 1, letter and sounds, the classic music appreciation, then you'd be doing a word intro, more Atelier, and the classic art appreciation. Let's see what they'll do on the next day that they come. Looking at the operation plan, you can see on Friday when they arrive, they are going to study day 3 and 4. So now let's compare this to the class structure. So as you saw in the operation plan, they'd be studying day 3 and day 4. So we're on lesson 1 again, word practice. Just continue on where we left off. Hands-on activities, the classic art appreciation. And then lesson 1 story, hands-on activities, and the classic activity and expression. Let's take one more look at the operation plan. You can see here that we had our cycle of 4 classes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that ends unit 1. And then the next time they come in, they'll be doing Unit 2. So you can see here that that would be, after they finish this, 8 classes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now it would be time for them to do the review, song, and chroma key. And then that whole cycle starts again. So it's really important as you teach iGarden to always take a look every day at this operation plan and then compare it to the class structure.